The Mombasa and Coast, Raila had a very strong fan base. So strong that in my view, the Raila was more popular in Mombasa and Coast than in Luo Nyanza. I would even say popular because, in my opinion, uh, the Coast support that he had was a support that he chose. I mean, people loved him. In Luo Nyanza, there was a lot of things that could be contributed to him being getting more votes in Luo Nyanza. Some could come from the word Agwambo and Muganga. You see, when somebody says places you to be more than a human, because Agwambo means somebody who is mysterious, who's not like a human, something like that. It means that some of the people will vote for you, and psychological influence. But the Coast people freely voted for him, and that is why I wanted to concentrate on that. It is just very funny that he made history in Mombasa. I don't know whether my viewers are aware of what he did in Mombasa in 2013. No, no, 2000. Yeah, 2013. 2013. In the elections of 2013, all elected leaders in Mombasa County, you see, it was being changed from Mombasa District to Mombasa County. All the elected leaders in the new Mombasa County were from ODM. They were from ODM. The governor and his deputy, the senator, the women rep, all elected MCS. All elected MCS were from ODM. It gave a lot of challenges. Actually, that time there were these what do you call? There were these coalitions. I'm not saying that Raila won Mombasa seats through coalition. No, he won Mombasa seats through ODM. He won it through ODM and not through the friendly coalition. Now, when it comes to coast region or coast province, we have already talked of Mombasa. Let us look at the sea or the Indian Ocean. Mvurya in Kilifi. Mvurya in Kilifi was an ODM person. Joho in Mombasa, we have already talked about that. Then we go to Mvurya in Kwale, and Kingi in Kilifi. Yeah, Kingi in Kilifi, Mvurya in Kwale. I don't remember who was the governor in Tana River and Taita Taveta, but and also Lamu. Lamu was DP. Lamu was DP, Democratic Party. But I would want to say that Kilifi, Mombasa, and Kwale were in ODM. Of course, Lamu was in Democratic Party, and Taita Taveta and Tana River, I can't really recall as of now. Maybe I'll comment that in the comment section. So you find that he got in form of percentage. In form of percentage, I would say that he got higher in cost than even in Luo Nyanza. And of course, he used to trick lawyers that he was a Mushitsetse from the Wanga tribe. So in that that also contributed to him getting votes from Luhya land. But then we are talking about cost. Uh, he had a stronghold in cost, that there was a constitutional problem. There was a constitutional problem in Mombasa. There was a constitutional problem in Mombasa, in that the new constitution, which was starting in 2013, stated that it brought with it positions such as leader of majority and leader of minority, the whip of minority and the whip of the majority. Now there was the question of Mombasa, all the elected leaders, and even now you see the new constitution came that the nomination slots were given according to the votes that you get. For example, you are supposed to nominate 10 MCS and you got 60% of the positions of the MCS. So you'd be given 6 out of 10, and so on and so forth. So since Mombasa had all the MCS from ODM, Mombasa had all nominated MCS from ODM. Now they came to be a constitutional quagmire whereby they asked, what do we do with the opposition such as of leader of minority, minority whip, and so on. They just said that, you see, there was that constitutional problem. How can you appoint some? But they agreed that they just take one person, because those offices are to be filled in, and an ODM MCA was made the leader of opposition, and they filled in those things. It has opened. It has only happened once. It has only happened once, and it happened in Mombasa in 2013. It has never happened anywhere else, because in 2017, other political parties gained some foothold in Mombasa. So you only needed 5 MCS, and all the 5 MCS would be given those positions that are for the minority whip, minority leader, such and such a thing, and you are given office and facilities. In other places, a place like Siaya, if my memory serves me well, Siaya, they had a party that was supporting Raila, but it was not ODM. I think it was called MDG. MDG. So MDG had around 7 or 8 MCS. They used those oppositions to be to fill in leader of minority, whip of minority, and so on and so forth. So if we look at the example of Mombasa, we will come out to the conclusion that Raila was more popular in the coast than any other place, because I don't know whether there is anybody who can break that record of nobody. I don't know whether anybody can break that record of having the whole elected MCS from his party and not coalition. We still have those ones from the coalition, but from his party. It has only happened once, and I doubt whether it will ever happen anywhere in Kenya in future. And it happened to Agwambo, and it happened outside his Luo Nyanza, and so on, and Luo Nyanza and Luhya Western. So we can say that. But again, it is in the same coast province that Raila received his worst embarrassment. Actually, it was 2 unbelievable, embarrassing things that happened to Raila in his coast stronghold. In 2014, a man called Lengo Karisa Mzomba shocked everybody. He shocked everybody when out of the blues, he came out with his bakora and whipped both Raila Odinga and his host, the then local governor, Salim Mvurya. People were just dancing and he came near there and he really beat that person. It was so surreal. It was a code meeting. It was a code empowerment meeting. Just came, approached Raila and started beating. And talking as a VIP protection expert, it came as a shock when he came out of apparent nowhere and went on to whip Raila and Mvurya. From the reaction of both Raila and Mvurya, it was a mixture of both unbelievable and pain. The security were caught unaware. The security were caught unaware. And of course, in a traditional dance setup, people, especially men, walk around with walking stick, isn't it? So he walked around with his walking stick, and people just thought that it was that type of dancing and whatever, and went on to beat those people. You can go to the YouTube and ask for the video where he came out of nowhere and beat him up. The security was caught unaware, as I've said. And then around the same time, I don't know which, but it was in around 2014 again, Raila was embarrassed when there was a by-election in Malindi. There was a by-election in Malindi. Remember, the first incident happened in Kwale. Now, this is the second one happened in Malindi, which is in Kilifi. Raila was on the podium and he quoted the Bible. He quoted the Bible where Jesus was tempted by the devil after 40 days of fasting. So Raila was saying, he was quoting the Bible and said that shetani alisema, ukiniabudu hii yote itakuwa yako. And Jesus said, enda mbali shetani. As if by design, as if somebody was switching off the light or something, the whole podium came down in a thump. Said, na Yesu akasema, enda mbali shetani, and then blue. So those are, I just wanted to show the two things in that recording of today, whereby he was embarrassed twice by somebody coming and whipping him properly, and with his host Mvurya. And again around the same time, he had an embarrassment of the podium falling down when he was addressing a meeting.